Welcome to the Fantasy Football Forge. My name is Steve, and we're going to do some rankings early today on Tuesday. I'll do the quarterbacks and the tight ends probably, and then do the running backs and wide receivers on Wednesday morning. Get those done tonight, though, so that way I can get all of my projections and rankings up on Wednesday night instead of the normal Thursday midday. So that way you are prepared for those Thursday games. I will also be going live 45 minutes to an hour ahead of the game, the first game on Thursday ahead of kickoff. Feel free to come and ask me any start-sit questions for that if you are available. Otherwise, just enjoy yourself, have a great Thanksgiving, and you can check out those rankings, like I said, Wednesday evening night. I don't know what time, as soon as I can get them up. Also, the Saturday show that I normally do, Start Sit, will probably come out earlier than Saturday and will be a little bit stripped down this week. Just need some extra time to do other things in life this week and catch up in some other areas, but I will still be getting everything out as normal, and I will go live 1 hour before kickoff on Sunday. Now let's do the quarterback rankings for week 12 of the NFL season, of the fantasy football season. At this point, these are preliminary rankings. Rankings are, they're always fluid. Things will happen throughout the week, and there's one name missing here from Arizona because I'm not ranking Kyler Murray as of now. I'm expecting him to sit. The top 12 quarterbacks start with Patrick Mahomes at number 1, followed by Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Geno Smith, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, and Jimmy Garoppolo. Over here you see the difficulty rating of this matchup. This is part of why I'm so late today. I've been waiting on one piece of this to come out, to be uploaded from last week's results and updated, not uploaded. And so that just hasn't happened to this point in the day, and it's gotten too late that I need to start these videos and get them out there. I will be comparing in order to decide on who I'm speaking about, I'm just comparing myself to the current expert consensus rankings. Those will change too, some throughout the week, but this is the amount of difference that I have from them. And trying to go quick this week, so keeping it to a minimum. Talking about Justin Fields here, I have him ranked 10th. The ECR on him is 7, 3 spots behind the ECR currently, going up against New York Jets, and that matchup really has me concerned for a guy who, he may not even play this week. That's possible, but I lean towards he probably will. And I'm just really concerned about him in this matchup. He doesn't have the best throwing stats. When he's been forced to throw, hasn't looked good, and the New York Jets are really good at stopping the pass. But the bigger concern is he going to be able to use his feet? He's very sore, very banged up. I just don't know, even if he's out there running, how efficient he's going to be on the ground, and is he at risk of getting injured because of how much strain he's putting on his body. So there's just a few risks and questions that I have that are forcing me to push him down a little bit further this week compared to the experts, compared to where I would like to have him. On that note, I also want to point out over here on the left, these are my tiers. So these are the must starts this week. And then here's my second tier of guys who are all great starts. And then you'll see the start of another tier, the third tier, really the tier that probably a lot of people have to make decisions within, is Justin Fields here at 10, and we'll go down further. So a couple guys here that I have above the ECR. At number 11, I have Daniel Jones. ECR is 13. Going up against Dallas, I like this matchup for him in some ways, actually, because of that pass rush that should flush him out of the pocket, / there may be some more designed running plays for him to just keep that defense as honest as possible, and those yardage that the quarterbacks get on the ground are very valuable. 2.5 times more valuable than the throwing yards, I think. So I love the floor, if nothing else, this week, expecting a good rushing attack from Daniel Jones. Then I have Jimmy Garoppolo at 12. The ECR on him is 14, going up against New Orleans. Not the best matchup in the world, not the worst matchup in the world, but I like it enough this week with that new look offense for the 49ers, and we'll just see some guys that I have lower. And that starts off at number 13 with Trevor Lawrence. So my QB2s this week start off at Trevor Lawrence, followed by Derek Carr, Tom Brady, Marcus Mariota, Jacoby Brissett, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Taylor Heineke, Jared Goff, Andy Dalton, Ryan Tannehill, and Kenny Pickett. As you can see, from 10 to 17, that's where I have basically the flex quarterback grouping. And that starts off with Trevor Lawrence at 13, going up against Baltimore. I have him 3 spots ahead of the ECR. Don't know how comfortable I feel with this, to be perfectly honest. I might have to move him back a little bit, but I don't know. There is a good upside potential this week for Trevor Lawrence. I don't love that ranking though, so that's something I will be looking into moving him back. Then I have Derek Carr here. Also, don't necessarily love this. I have him 4 spots ahead of the ECR. The ECR on him is 18. I have him at 14, going up against Seattle. It's a good matchup, and I did see some signs from that offense last week that gave me some hope after that emotional press conference 2 weeks ago that maybe they're starting to get things a little bit turned around there on that offense. Is nothing crazy where I'm super confident in Derek Carr going forward, but due to the matchup, I'm fairly confident in putting him out there this week. Then I have Tom Brady 4 spots behind the ECR. The ECR on him is 11. I am at 15 going up against Cleveland. Similar to Derek Carr, honestly, I did see some things that I liked from that offense the last time they were out there on the field 2 weeks ago. They're going up against Cleveland. It's not as good of a matchup as Seattle. And part of what I liked from that offense, which did result in one of the better games for Tom Brady, was that rushing attack. So that doesn't necessarily mean that Tom Brady will always benefit from a stronger rushing attack from Tampa Bay. So he's a safe guy. He's fine. It just how the cookie crumbled for him this week. And if you know anything with how I've been ranking Tom Brady, he almost certainly in past weeks would have made it behind Marcus Mariota and Jacoby Brissett, at least here. So it did move him up more than I've had him most weeks, compared to the experts especially. Then Kirk Cousins, I have 7 spots behind the ECR. I have him at 19. The ECR on him is 12, going up against New England. Really not a good matchup at all. Obviously not a good performance this last week. That doesn't help with any recency bias for wanting to push him up further. I definitely don't want him into my starting territory, in my top 12 there. Have some concerns for that offense, I suppose. It's been a little bit iffy all year. It just hasn't quite met what... There's so much potential there. It could be so much better than it has been, and it's been fine. But there are some guys in differing matchups here that I would like to take advantage of, or safer floors that I just am not super excited to get Kirk Cousins out there this week. And that happens to be the cutoff right after Kenny Pickett there at wide receiver 25 for quarterback 25 for the quarterbacks who I'm really hoping I don't have to be putting out there. And that starts off with Russell Wilson at 25, followed by Matt Ryan, Davis Mills, Colt McCoy, Mac Jones, Bryce Perkins, Zach Wilson, and Baker Mayfield. I have Colt McCoy highlighted just because I wanted to make sure I did not forget to mention about Kyler Murray, which I remembered. Then Russell Wilson I have at 25, which is 4 spots behind the ECR. The ECR on him is 21. After last week, going up against Vegas, great matchup. Didn't work out. I have zero confidence in this. Going up against Carolina, though, so there is some hope for a decent game, a floor-type game from Russell, which could, have him end up ranking higher than this, depending on how other quarterbacks do. But I just don't see much of an upside. And then Matt Ryan, I have at 26. The ECR on him is 20, so I have him 6 spots behind the ECR, going up against Pitt. It's a colder-ish matchup, not the best matchup, not the worst matchup. I do expect them to try to run the ball. It just, once again, not a super high ceiling that I am going after, and rankings didn't love him either, so projections, I was able to finish those for the quarterbacks, so this is where he ends up lying, and that's the rest of the way. Bryce Perkins going up against Kansas City, I'll take a shot at that. He does have some wheels on his feet that he can get some of those good quality points for you if you are looking at these guys in 2 quarterback leagues. Same with Davis Mills, great matchup. So he's gotten a couple touchdowns a couple times this season in some of these plus matchups late. Yeah. That's how the quarterbacks look. So I will get the tight ends video out later today. And then wide receiver, running back tomorrow. Went through the schedule earlier on in the video. So hope you have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll see you in other videos. Bye-bye.